Going into the weekend, I thought winning one match would be hard, and our goal was two. If everything would have, if all the stars would have been aligned and every player would have played great, you can always come out with the tournament championship. I certainly think we have the talent to do that. But 2 out of 3 on the weekend was really what we were pushing for. So we're a little disappointed coming back Monday with just the one win, although a nice win over a veteran Virginia Tech team who advanced in the NCAA tournament a year ago. Nice 5-gamer, which we were down 14-13 in the fifth and turned around and won. I thought we were neck and neck with Kentucky in set 2 and just missed finishing that one, and that probably would have put us at 1-1 with maybe a little different outlook on the next couple games. But that match obviously a loss, and then turning around and playing Western Kentucky, we won the first set. The next 2 we did not play well, which has been a bit of a theme for us, the ability to sustain good play, which I guess you would expect from a young team. That has been an ongoing issue, and hopefully by the midway point in the season we can, hopefully by the end and optimistically by the middle of the season we can get over some of that. And then a really good opportunity to push Western Kentucky, who was receiving top 25 votes, to a 5th set, and just missed a swing to push that to 5. So we went home, unfortunately, empty-handed on Saturday. So if you asked me a month ago or 3 weeks ago what I would feel about 3-3 at this point, I would probably say we'd take it. But we're a little bitter right now with 2 of the losses coming on Saturday, making us 3-3 instead of maybe 4-2. So we're regrouping. We're going to have to play better offensively to win some of these tough opponents, and so we're working on hopeful solutions to try to do that without causing too big of chaos with our team. So we'll get a little bit better week by week with this young group. At one point, I think it was 21-22 against Kentucky, or maybe it was Vodtech, and I looked out there, and 5 of the 6 people on the court were freshmen, sophomores, and I kind of just grabbed my hair and thought, I have no idea what's going to happen. Because at some point they surprise you and they play terrific, and at some point they'll make a mistake here or there that you kind of question. They probably put a gray hair on my head. But it's fun. It's exciting. I think they got better I think we got better from the first week to the second week. And the one thing is we need to keep getting better, especially on offense. So I'll open it up for any questions you all have. If we try and get as many top 50 opponents as we can in a preseason, because at the end of December, if you don't win the conference tournament, the NCAA committee is going to look at not only your RPI, but how you've done against top 50 opponents. And if you're 0-2 against top 50 opponents versus 3-3, there's a lot to be said about getting in the NCAA tournament. So we're doing this a little bit for our conference. They want our conference wants, and our coaches all agree that the teams we feel can be in the mix at the top of the conference need to schedule tough competition. And so we're doing it for our conference. We're doing it for our players, because when we recruit them, we tell them we're going to play a tough schedule, and we do it to really find out what's broken. We could have set up a schedule and have a very good chance of being 6-0 right now. There are teams that do that, but we wouldn't know what we need to be fixing, and right now we know we have plenty to fix. So we look at it as a positive.
So what will be some of the main focuses in practice this week to get ready for your home openers?
Well, I think we need to stay a little bit more consistent in our tempo and offense and in changing setters throughout matches. That's been really hard on our hitters, and that is, of course, my responsibility in terms of who plays. So we're going to try and see which setter we can go a little bit more with consistently this weekend. And we'll see how that goes. That's going to be a big thing. And then team serve receive, still communication, players potentially backing away from passes that they need to be playing. Those things, if we can get better at both of those, I think our hitters will have more chances to score on offense.
Have you seen maybe the seniors wanting to do more, wanting to kind of overextend themselves with the younger team, like wishing they could be out there in every rotation, wishing they could just kind of...
I think the seniors at times might press a little bit and feel the urgency. I know Katie had a rough go of it against Kentucky. Nicole had a rough time at times this weekend, and it might be picking up slack for others or trying to do too much. I would call that pressing. But for the most part, they're going to learn with this team what they can and can't do. And so, although they want to be doing more and are awfully good leaders, there's only so much they can do, and they have to learn that just like the younger kids have to learn. There's so much they have to do. So it's again a learning role for our whole team. When you have, typically we use an 8 to 9 player rotation in any set, and when you have 6 and 7 of those pieces coming back, you can really teach the new 2 kids easily new roles. And that's been the case here for the last 3 years, as we've had 1 or 2 freshmen on the floor. But now when you've got 3 freshmen and 5 and 6 underclassmen, and a team of 9 underclassmen of 13 players, that's a lot of young, and so they all have to learn their roles and responsibilities, and that's hard.
You're getting a lot of production from a lot of different sources, like you mentioned some of the freshman players like Carson, Liberty, and Mildred have stepped up. What does that mean for your team?
Well, I think that we all want to win, and I think they want to win at different times. They've stepped up and done well. We have different pieces contributing at different times, and we are not even close to hitting our stride. I mean, I think that's clear if people have seen us play. I think it's clear if you look at our scores. We in our numbers. If you look inside the stats game, we haven't hit our stride. But the fact that different players are able to produce means a lot. It might be one day Katie's got only 6 kills but 13 blocks in a match, and then the next one she might have 15, and same with Kelsey and Chelsea, and Faith might have is averaging like a block a set as a right side and slowing down left side hitters, and so everybody's contributing in different ways that's useful. We just need to get much more consistent at it.
So you're holding tryouts on Sunday. So what are some of the main reasons to have these open tryouts?
Well, we don't do them very often, but we like to have 4 DSs on our roster throughout the season. 3 typically are part of the starting rotation, and when you don't have a backup, you run into some trouble if someone is struggling. And we do know of a few kids on campus that through the recruiting process were interested in Ohio and over the last 2 and 3 years, and or came to Ohio, but we didn't have a spot for at the time. That we have to watch how many numbers we have on our team in any given year. And this year, we feel that we have room to take another player, and so those 3 and 4 kids that we know are here, we want to give a chance to come and work with them a little bit and see how they do. So we're looking forward to it.
Especially with the young girls, with classes starting up, it's an added thing for them to think about. How do you keep them focused on volleyball?
We're going to pretend like classes don't exist this week. Now, we have a really good group in terms of academics, and I think most of them, for the most part, are very good about time management skills. We've talked to them about our biggest thing this week is making sure we stay ahead, because next week we're on the road not only Tuesday, but then we leave Thursday for Georgia. So next week they're going to miss the most class they'll miss all year. I think we miss 1 Tuesday a year and 3 Thursdays a year, and I think a Tuesday and a Thursday are next week. So we're trying to get them to make sure they're ahead in the classroom, and then not overdo it on the court this week. Make sure we're fresh and mentally ready to go for another challenging weekend with 2 more BCS opponents and a good Marshall team.
You said your offense needs to kind of get on track a little bit. Talk a little bit about your defense. You're getting a lot of blocks, and all I guess you get a 30 dig set, I guess. So how's your defense been for you thus far?
If our offense is producing at a reasonable rate, I think we're very difficult to score on. I think our defense, not only blocking but behind the block, is really quite good. I think we might not be a scrappy team, but again, our block takes up so much space that it's not impossible to defend against. After the first weekend, I think we were like 16 and a half digs a game, which we usually average like 12. So we were digging lights out the first weekend, and I think this weekend again our numbers were higher than our typical average. Our blocking numbers were still pretty good. I think we're a pretty good defensive unit. The issue is if your offense isn't giving anything challenging to the opponent, your defense isn't going to look good either. So if we can play better on offense, we can we can look a little bit better defensively too. They kind of go hand in hand. If you're good at both things, you look a lot better overall.
And kind of going back to playing a lot of 4 and 5 game matches, does that kind of help get your team that experience when they're put into a similar situation later on in the season?
I think so. I think we were really excited late in Game 4 against Western Kentucky because we have such a comfort level already with the fifth game being 3-1, and Western had not been to a fifth game, and so that was one of the things we were urging is, hey, let's get a push here and let's take this to 5 where we're 3-1 and they haven't been yet, just as a hey, we can do this rallying cry, but we didn't finish it. Western made a couple of really nice plays at the end to win that one, but we wanted to get to 5. We were down 2 games to 1, but I think our comfort level there is pretty high already. And I think not only that, but the more games played we can log at this point with a young team, the more and more experience they get. So, although it's exhausting, draining physically and mentally to go 4 and 5 games all the time, it's just more experience for our young kids.
Talk about wanting to do well in front of the home crowd this week.
Well, Louisville certainly Friday night is going to give a real challenge. They are playing extremely well right now. A couple of really good wins on their NCAA resume, and they've got a kid from I believe she's Russian. I know it's a part of Russia named Lola, and she's averaging over 5 kills a game. I think at this point she probably single-handedly destroyed Wichita State, who is a very, very good team in the Missouri Valley Conference. Something like, she hit over 400 and had 6.2 kills per set or something like that in the match. And that is really, really impressive. And if a kid does something like that, sometimes you just have to tip your cap. So they're walking in here playing extremely well, and as I've said already, we have not hit our stride yet. So we'll hope for a little bit of the hometown magic. We have played pretty well in some home openers in the past. Wins over VCU, 5-game thriller against Tennessee when I think they were like 16th in the country. My first year here, we swept Middle Tennessee, I think when they were ranked 15th in the country. So, we're going to need one of those. We're going to need the fans to support us. We're excited to be home. I mean, I know the energy level is going to be really high with our team, but it's going to take a huge effort to get this win.